On August 15, 2023, a Victoria Police digital forensic officer named Sharman Fox Henry was given a job. His job was to uncover traces of digital information that had been found on a computer seized by police from the home of Erin Patterson. After extracting the data, Mr. Fox Henry ran a keyword search, typing in terms to see if there were any matches.
Death cap. Death cap mushroom. Death cap mushrooms. Mushroom. Poison.
Today in court, Mr. Fox Henry was asked questions about what he found. I'm Brooke Grebert-Craig, and this is The Mushroom Cook. Day 16 of Erin Patterson's murder trial has wrapped up, and once again I'm joined by court reporter Laura Placella.
Good to be here with you as always.
It's been quite a day today, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
So the jury has been given many lessons throughout the trial, including lessons on mushrooms, but today it was all about computers.
That's right. At the top of the episode, our listeners were introduced to Sharman Fox Henry. He is part of the Victoria Police Cybercrime Squad, and he took to the stand today, like you said, Brooke, to give the jury yet another lesson. It's fair to say they will be pretty well versed, I think, in a number of topics by the end of this trial. His evidence began with a slideshow, and the first slide read, "What is a computer?" So we started very much with the basics, and he slowly walked the jury through evidence around computers, files, folders, thumbnails, and even some more technical things known as artifacts. And he explained that artifacts can range from a Microsoft Word file to a web browser cookie.
Now, a number of devices were seized from Erin Patterson's home, and Mr. Fox Henry was one of the officers who examined them.
Yes, so the jury previously heard that several devices were seized by police from Erin's home when warrants were executed on August 5 and November 2, 2023. August 5 being about 1 week after the lunch. And in particular today, Mr. Fox Henry was questioned about a Cooler Master computer that was found. Cooler Master being the brand of computer. He walked the jury through his job as a digital forensics officer and how he extracts data from devices. He explained that the beginning of that process involves creating a copy of the data, which is called a case, and from that case he can run analysis for the investigators. He told the court that he was asked to run a keyword search for 5 terms. Those terms were the ones you heard at the top of the episode. Death cap mushroom, death cap mushrooms, mushrooms, and poison.
So what was actually found on the Cooler Master computer then?
So it was at this point today where a forensic examination report was brought up on the screens in the court for the jury to see, and this contained all the records that were pulled from this device. The court heard there were records in this report that related to a search term. So you think about a search term as something you would type into a browser, just like Google. This search term was for iNaturalist, and the record showed that this search was made on May 28, 2022 at around 7:20 p.m. So that's about 14 months before the lunch at the centre of this trial. To remind our listeners again, iNaturalist is that citizen science website we've been referring to that allows members of the public to post sightings of plants, animals and fungi, which includes death cap mushrooms.
Yes, and Dr. Tom May and Christine McKenzie both gave evidence about this website previously.
That's right. So Mr. Fox Henry was asked what these records meant, and he told the court that it confirmed a Bing search was done for iNaturalist on this day. I mentioned Google before. Bing is another search engine. But it is really important to note at this stage that the court didn't hear today who made these searches. It was simply evidence about the fact a search was made on that device.
And were there any other records relating to the Cooler Master computer?
Yes, there were. After Mr. Fox Henry spoke about the search term records, We moved on to some web history records, and the court heard that after the search term iNaturalist was made, by 7:21 p.m, so this is about 1 minute later, the URL iNaturalist.org was visited by a browser on this computer. Another record showed that 2 minutes later, at 7:23 p.m, another iNaturalist URL was accessed by the computer. So we've spoken about URLs, but the court heard today that every web page has a title as well. And the title of the URL that was visited at 7:23, and I'll read this out here from my notes, was Deathcap from Melbourne, Vic, Australia, on May 18, 2022, at 2:36 p.m, by Ivan Margita, Bricker Reserve, Moorabbin, iNaturalist. The court wasn't told too much more at all about this web page and what all of those words meant, but the jury have previously heard evidence from Dr. May and Miss Mackenzie, who you mentioned earlier, Brooke, who have made posts on iNaturalist before when they've observed fungi in the wild.
And did the jury find out how many times these web pages were actually visited?
They did. So Mr. Fox-Henry explained that there was data extracted that related to the visit count, and he told the court that for this particular web page, the visit count was 2, which indicated the web page had been visited twice.
And there was another search term that we heard more about today, wasn't there?
There was. After the court heard about the iNaturalist search terms, they were also brought to a search term made at 7:23 p.m, so on this same day, on May 28, 2022, for the Currumborough Middle Pub. According to the records, this search was made on the computer about 2 minutes after the search for iNaturalist.
That was a lot of detail, Laura. Can you summarise it for our listeners?
I'll definitely try. As I mentioned earlier, everything we heard about today was a record that related to a computer seized from Erin's home. While the court didn't hear who made searches or who visited websites on this device, what was made clear was that there were searches made for iNaturalist, and after those searches were made, web pages relating to iNaturalist were also accessed. In particular, that web page relating to a sighting of deathcap mushrooms in Moorabbin, which is a suburb in Melbourne.
Great summary, Laura. Mr. Fox-Henry also examined another device.
That's right. We didn't hear a lot about this today because by the time it was mentioned, it was close to the end of the day. But he told the court the cybercrime team analysed the phone of Gail Patterson, and we're expected to hear more of what was found tomorrow.
That's right. And to end the day, Justice Christopher Bill gave a bit of a warning to the jury, didn't he?
He did, after there were those references made to the URLs, which were shown on the screen in the courtroom. He turned to the jurors and gave them a gentle reminder that they should not be going home and Googling these URLs to figure out where they went to, and they should only be relying on the evidence they're hearing in court.
Thanks, Laura. And to stay updated on all our coverage of this case, go to themushroomcook.com.au for more.